Hello van fans, welcome to another episode of VFFs, Vanlife podcast. How are you doing? It's such a beautiful sunny day as I'm recording this. I am in a busy car park by the sea, so you might hear some engines and things while I'm recording. So, thank you to everyone that got in touch with me to let me know that you enjoyed the last episode. That was really nice. I was kind of proud of it too, because I think I'm getting better at the old podcasting malarkey. So, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I also would like to say I'm super excited about the future of this podcast as well, because I've got some amazing episodes coming up with some awesome guests, especially the next episode. I am really excited to release that one. It's going to be so brilliant. I spoke to some people that are literally living my dream life and it was so cool. So please do tune in for that one. I'm sure you'll really enjoy that as well. If you would like to write to me about your van, or if you have any stories or anything at all, you can email vffspodcast@gmail.com. That's vffspodcast@gmail.com. So, what has happened since I last sat down with the microphone? I had my MOT, which is a scary time in any van lifer's world. So I called up my mechanic, I got it booked in. I spent that whole day just really worried, basically, of how much it was going to cost. I kind of knew that she was going to fail because when I bought the van, the people that I bought it from were pretty dodgy. In hindsight, and I wasn't 100% sure that the MOT had been done properly for the last year, so I was quite worried about it. Anyway, I spent the whole day just waiting. I got a phone call. Yes, it had failed as I thought, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been, so that was really good. In the end, it only cost about £200 to pass the retest, which is fine, to be honest. I mean, this is like a 1993 van, so there is always a little voice in the back of my mind saying, like, you know, this could be the last year for this van. So I'm really so relieved about that. I was trying to tell myself that, like, I wouldn't mind if the van ended up, you know, failing and I couldn't afford to repair it, or, you know, I had to sell it to get back the money that I used to repair it or something like that. But actually, I'm so pleased that it passed. I love this van. I love spending time in it. Anyway, this is not news to you guys because you know how good it is as well to have a van, but I'm just delighted anyway that she's still on the road. And yeah, so that was kind of a scary experience, but it's all done now, so I'm really happy about that. Obviously, we're all in lockdown. Not much is going on. Although I will say, since I did my bonus feature of cold water swimming, I've been swimming every week, at least twice a week. I'm really getting into it. I'm loving the feeling of cold water on my skin, and it's really keeping me on the straight and narrow. I do struggle with low mood sometimes, and just going in the sea twice a week totally changes everything for the rest of the week. I just feel so much more positive and energized, and sometimes it's like really scary. Like, I went in yesterday. It was the first time that I'd got in the water and had felt actually quite scared that I might not be able to get out again because of the temperature. The current was quite strong, and that kind of freaked me out, and I could feel my breathing starting to like become rapid. So I just really concentrated on breathing and relaxing, and just made my way closer to the shore and just stayed in the shallows and kept breathing. But that was quite a scary experience because it is so cold that you kind of need to be able to get out quickly when you feel the time has come to get out. So yeah, that was it was good. It was a really good lesson in how to stay calm in a stressful situation. Feeling quite excited about the future. Obviously, things are looking really positive with the whole coronavirus situation. I just cannot wait to like have a party or have a barbecue, or, you know, all those kind of things, and just get out in the van and like meet some more van lifers, you know, out in the wild. Yeah, I feel like there's real positive times ahead, and it's important to remember that like, this isn't forever and the good times are coming. We just got to stay patient. So, this week's guest is Nikki. Nikki has lived full-time in 2 small vans. She finds that it fits perfectly with her love of the outdoors. We talk about her trips to Europe, cooking solutions in the van, and her future travel plans. I could have spoken to Nikki all day. She had such a soothing voice. So I really hope that you enjoy hearing her talking about various different subjects around van life. Also, there's a bonus feature this week, which is awkward public interviews. So I basically went around chatting to strangers outdoors, and the whole thing was completely awkward and embarrassing, but it's all I have for you this week. So I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, that's it. So without further ado, here is the interview with Nikki. Hi Nikki.
Hi Kat.
Welcome to VFFs. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, it's nice to talk to you eventually.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? We've been emailing back and forth. It's brilliant to talk to you finally. Okay, let's start off with a bit of van chat. So what van do you have?
So I've currently got a Fiat Doblo, and it's the maxi length, which was really important to me when I got it because it's got 2 meters long behind the seats. It's nice. It means I've got a very long bed.
Wow, that is a lot of space actually.
Yeah.
And how long have you had that one for, Nikki?
I was going to say yeah, but I haven't. I've had it for 2 years now. Took some time away from it for about 6 months, so it feels only like a year. I don't know why.
Especially after this year as well. It's like no one knows anymore. The Fiat Doblo, that's it's quite a small van, isn't it? Kind of would you class it as a micro camper?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like, VW Caddy's the one that people sort of associate, or the Berlingo. It's in that class of van, but it is, and I really did my research for this because I'm not a small person. I'm 5'9", and at the time I was dating somebody who was 6'5". So it's the biggest van you can get in that class, which I was very happy about.
I have some friends and they're all quite short, and they're so lucky because they can do the widthways double bed and lay down in it fine, and it's no problem. I'm really jealous.
Yeah, me too. I just couldn't do that.
And you were living in that full time for a while, weren't you?
Yeah. So I've been living that full time for probably about a year and a half in total. It's nice. I quite like everything being close, actually. One of the joys is I don't have to get out of bed in the morning to make breakfast, which is just nice.
What were you doing when you were full-timing in the Fiat? Were you working or...?
Yeah, so I was working just a sort of standard 9-to-5 job, Monday to Friday, which was quite nice. It made doing winter actually quite easy because I'd get up in the morning, and if it was cold, I just knew I had to get to work, and then I could warm up, come back in the evening, normally like cook dinner, and then either sort of go out to the climbing wall or just go and see my mates at the pub or something like that, which was really nice. And then just like get back and straight into bed in the evening.
When you went to the climbing wall, did you have access to like a shower and all that kind of thing as well?
Yeah, so that's how I showered.
What was it like living in that small space then? How did you find it? What was your favourite thing about living in the van?
I really enjoyed it. I've always really liked small spaces, which might help. I'm definitely not one to feel claustrophobic. Favourite thing? I think it was just being able to get out really easily. So because the space was so small, I found like when I was living in a flat, I had a tendency to just be like, it takes so much effort to get outside and do stuff. Whereas being in the van, you're already there, parked up in a really nice area. So you've just got to sort of get yourself dressed, I guess, and step outside. So that was really quite nice for me. And it does help that I'm based in the English Lake District, so I've got a lot of really nice spots on my doorstep.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I've never been actually to the Lake District.
Yeah, it's nice. There's a lot of lakes, a lot of mountains, obviously quite a lot of crags. I mean, one of the nice things maybe about the lakes is because there's quite a few people who come up and do it. So like it's sort of accepted in a lot of the car parks that it's just really nice to stay in. There was one really good spot, but unfortunately this year it did have cameras put in it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so I mostly I just spent my time wild camping around.
And did you do climbing like out and about as well around the Lake District?
Yeah. So the van made it easier because you could just sort of skip all the traffic and just sort of get there in the evening and just be sort of parked at the car park at the point to set off to the crag, which was nice.
Oh, lovely. So what's it like climbing? I've never done it before.
Yeah, I really like it. I think because I can sort of take it as slow or as fast as I want. Never very good. Like I've tried mountain biking and things like that, and I just don't like the lack of control that you get from like hurtling down the hill.
Oh yeah.
So climbing's quite nice in that, and it's really physical, so it uses your whole body, but then at the same time it also uses your head. So I found it great as like a stress relief because you just can't worry about this stuff when you're sort of clinging onto rock or plastic indoors. Sort of what feels like as if you're clinging on for your life, but it's really not. That's just, I get quite scared. But it does also, like, I lived down south for a few years, and it was only when I moved there that I realised, actually, it rains, like, massively here compared to anywhere else. Like, if you get through a week without it raining 2 or 3 days, then it's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so dampness is like a constant battle in the van, especially without a heater.
Yeah, and how did you cope with the damp, with stuff like washing?
Oh, so I just have to make sure that they were dried at the laundrette. So I just don't have clothes now if they can't survive a dryer. That's all right.
What did you find difficult about being in that space?
I think it is, like, when you get that, like, the few rainy weeks in summer, like August is often wall-to-wall just rain. It's just, like, you can't open the doors to sort of freshen the van out or anything, and it gets to the point as well where, like, normally I'd just be fine, I could just go for a walk, but when you've then got to get back into the same space and your wet jacket and trousers have to dry out, it did make it quite hard, but then when it's lovely and sunny, it's just amazing. Or even just dry is good weather here.
Yeah, it's amazing,
I'm
isn't
making
it?
it sound really miserable.
No, not at all. I mean, it's such a challenge, isn't it? You know, like you said, you can't just open the door because the rain will just lash in and it's like, oh, that's just what I needed, another puddle on the floor.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this preview of VFF's Vanlife podcast. You can listen to the full episode at vffsvanlife.com/podcast. Hope you enjoy it. I've got to go outside. I've got to go outside. I've got to go